Can you solve this math challenge? Here's the question. Just simplify this expression. Cube root of 2 plus square root of 5 plus cube root of 2 minus square root of 5. You can pause this video if you want to give this problem a try. Now suppose you pause this video. Now let's see if you got the correct answer without using a calculator. Alright, so to answer this kind of question, what we're going to do is to replace these two expressions with a variable. So let's call the first cube root of 2 plus square root of 5 be equal to a. And the other one, let's call this as b. So the entire expression, we can rewrite this as a plus b. Alright. Now, since a equals cube root of 2 plus square root of 5 and b equals cube root of 2 minus square root of 5, so if we cube the first equation, if we cube on both sides, we get that a cubed equals 2 plus square root of 5. And if we cube the second equation, we get b cubed equals 2 minus square root of 5. Now take note, when we add these two results, we eliminate positive square root of 5 and the negative square root of 5. So if we do this, we get a cubed plus b cubed equals 2 plus 2 or simply equal to 4. Now let's set aside this result. Next, aside from adding, what will happen if we multiply these two equations? If we do that, we get ab equals cube root of 2 plus square root of 5 multiplied by cube root of 2 minus square root of 5. And if we multiply this, we get something like cube root of 2 plus square root of 5 multiplied by 2 minus square root of 5. Now, notice this product. We have the sum and difference. So we can simplify this as 2 squared minus square root of 5 raised to the power of 2. And we know 2 squared is just 4. And the square root of 5 raised to the power of 2, this is just 5. Now 4 minus 5, this will give us negative 1. And cube root of negative 1 is just negative 1. So we know that AB is just negative 1. Now using these two results, a cubed plus b cubed equals 4 and ab equals negative 1, we can now find the value of a plus b. Alright, so what we're going to do is to use the first result, a cubed plus b cubed equals 4. Because we have the sum of two cubes, so we can factor this out using the factored form of x cubed plus y cubed. So we can factor this in two different ways. The first one, we can factor this out, x cubed plus y cubed as x plus y multiplied by x squared minus xy plus y squared. Or we can factor this out as follows. We have x plus y multiplied by x plus y raised to the power of 2 minus 3 times xy. Now we will choose the second factored form. So a cubed plus b cubed, we can factor this out as a plus b multiplied by a plus b quantity squared minus 3 times a b. So let's use this factored form. Next, the good thing is we have a value for a times b. This is just negative 1. So we can replace this ab with negative 1. And we can simplify this. Negative 3 multiplied by negative 1. This is just positive 3. Alright, now let's focus on this result. Now, what will happen to this equation is, take note that we want to solve for the value of a plus b. And the value of a plus b is the value of cube root of 2 plus square root of 5 plus cube root of 2 minus square root of 5. And we know the value of this is a real number. So let's call this as t. Now, if this is the value of this expression, this is also the value of a plus b. So we can replace all a plus b in this equation as t, like this. So our equation now becomes t multiplied by t squared plus 3 equals 4. And if we distribute this t on the left-hand side of our equation, we get t cubed plus 3t. So we can use t cubed plus 3t. Now let's equate this to 0. Now what we're going to do is to find the real value of t that satisfies this cubic equation in terms of t. Now, one thing to notice is if we plug in t equals 1, we get 0. Now, this tells us that t equals 1 is a solution to this cubic equation. And also, it tells us that t minus 1 is a factor of this cubic equation. And take note, when we factor this cubic equation, we get t minus 1 multiplied by t squared plus t plus 4. So we can use this factored form to solve for the real value of t. Now, since it is equal to 0, we can use the zero property. It follows that both factors must be equal to 0. Now at this point, let's focus on this quadratic equation t squared plus t plus 4 equals to 0. Now to know if t is a real number in this quadratic equation, we will use the discriminant. So if the discriminant b squared minus 4ac is greater than 0, we have two real solutions. If the discriminant equals 0, we have one real solution. If the discriminant is less than 0, we have 0 real solutions. Alright, now if we get the discriminant in this quadratic equation, we get the discriminant must be equal to negative 15, which is less than 0. So it follows that t in this quadratic equation is not a real number. Therefore, the only equation that will give us a real value of t must be in the first equation, t minus 1 equals 0. And solving for t, add 1 on both sides, we get that t equals 1. And take note, this t is just the value of a plus b. And this a plus b is the value of this entire expression, cube root of 2 plus square root of 5 plus cube root of 2 minus square root of 5. Therefore, this is the answer to this question. So you can verify this result using your calculator. Just verify this result, alright? And as always, we are done.